Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy E from S2 Real. With 2017 about to end and 2018 right around the corner, I felt it was only right to highlight a couple guys from the city who I felt had great 2017s and talk about what we can expect for them in 2018. This particular video is about Pressa. I can't think of a Toronto rapper who had a more productive year than Pressa. As far as not the well-established guys like the Drakes and Tory Lanez, obviously. I'm talking about the Toronto rappers, the new up-and-coming ones. Uh, he already came into 2017 scorching with like his buzz from TBH, Was Gang, and all Demion and shit like that. So he came in 2017 already scorching. Then he worked with one of the hottest producers in the game, a fellow Canadian in Murder Beats. And then they dropped Novocaine, which we just had the city, had not just had the city, that it was buzzing around the internet because even Meek Mill picked up on it. Lil Bibby was listening to it. A lot of people were just like, whoa, this shit's crazy. You know what I mean? Murder put it on his tape. It was one of the most played songs on his tape. Then he went on the Boy Meets World tour with Drake, opening up in Europe, which is like a priceless experience. You can't pay for an experience like that. Um, Touring with one of the biggest rappers of all time at his peak, you know what I mean, to open up for him in Europe and see the world and just get to understand how this music business works, or at least the touring side of it and performing and things like that. So he did that. Then he dropped his tape, Press Machine, which is still one of my favorite tapes of the year. You know what I mean? I feel like it's underrated because to me, it wasn't one of those tapes that you just played and then you put it away. I actually played it throughout the whole year. There was a lot of songs on there that I fucked with. He spent a lot of time in the UK, so he did a lot of networking. He did a couple shows with Gigs out there. He did a track with Gigs, a track with K. Coke. Even did the Oh My joint with Tory Lanez. And then, we'll get to Canada Goose later. But yeah, man, he did a lot of networking, and as far as growing his brand and growing his fan base, because I did a video on Pressa, not on Pressa, on the top 10 Toronto rappers in March. And from then till now, his YouTube subscribers, his Instagram followers, they've grown in the tens of thousands. Like, he's doubled his Instagram followers, and he's gained at least over 10,000 subscribers on his YouTube. He did other things like appear on the Noisy Six Rising, which was pretty dope. We got to see Pressa outside of the music aspect, you know what I mean? He doesn't really do too many interviews. He did the Vlad TV interview. And though, he maybe not always gets the best reviews for his interviews, but he's hitting up the platforms that matter and the platforms that are going to give him the exposure, you know what I mean? And that will lead you to his music, where his real talent lies. He put the states on notice. I can definitely say that. I feel obviously he can't cross the border, but he's becoming a name where that people are very familiar with in America. Lil Uzi Vert shouted him out on MTV TRL. Meek Mill was playing his music before he was locked up, tweeting, using his lyrics as captions. Shy Glizzy been showing him love. Swiss Beats, you know what I mean? For those type of guys to pay attention, that's really big. A guy like Swiss Beats is always showing Pressa love. He recently dropped the Pressa Brick mixtape after he touched 1 million views in 1 week on the Canada Goose video, which is a fucking banger. That's currently at 2.5 million views right now on YouTube. That tape is hard, man. I haven't like I said, I like to listen to music through periods of time to know how good it is. But from when I've been listening to Pressa Brick, it's hard, man. Obviously Canada Goose is one of my favorite songs, but Maserati, I fuck with that very heavy. Ambition, I think Ambition is a very slept on song. But what can we expect from Pressa in 2018? Going into 2018, I think by God's grace, he handles his legal issues. If he handles all his legal issues, I think the sky's the limit. But Pressa's already shown us that his work ethic is there, and he can recreate a banger. You know what I mean? Maybe a lot of people thought, oh, Demiana and TBH, that was the last of him, because we love YouTube numbers and views, and he hadn't did those views since he first came out. And then he showed us with Canada Goose right away that he still got it, you know what I mean? And I think he's shown us that without being a artist who can cross the border and break into the States or even sign to a label, independently you can get the work done. You know what I mean? You can get your foot in the mud and you can keep pushing. You know what I mean? He's shown that there's still progress to be made, even though you can't go through all the doors. You know what I mean? So regardless of America or not, I think this time around next year, I expect Pressa to be in a much bigger and better position than he is right now. You know what I mean? So shout out to Pressa. It's your boy E. It's too real.